For the past month and a half, both the casino industry and all card counters have been out of a job. But how will COVID-19 affect casinos and advantage players moving forward? Hey, I'm Colin from Blackjack Apprenticeship, and for the past decade, I've gotten asked almost daily about the future of card counting. Are poor rules or continuous shuffle machines, facial recognition going to be the end of advantage play? None of those things have slowed down card counting, but never in my wildest dreams did I think a global pandemic was going to put all card counters out of a job. Since the casinos shut their doors, I've been reading and asking the experts I know about what to expect about the future of casinos and card counting. Here are 5 predictions based on 3 Blackjack Hall of Famers, as well as my own 2 cents. Number 5, casinos will reopen as soon as they can and try, though struggle, to get back to normal. I've been predicting this for a few weeks now, and already it's changing in the news that casinos are putting together plans to open up again. For a while, this will inevitably involve social distancing, so there's going to be dealers wearing masks and gloves likely, maybe only 1 out of every 2 or 3 slot machines will be open, and there's going to be space between players at the tables. But the bottom line is casinos have staff, leases, land loans, and mortgages to cover, and they're going to want to get back to work as quickly as possible so that they don't go bankrupt. The struggle, though, is going to be getting back to normal. In Macau, they've already reopened their casinos, but only to about 20 to 30% the capacity of what they had before COVID-19. Max Rubin, creator of the Blackjack Ball and the Blackjack Hall of Fame, told me he thinks that some casinos just won't make it out of this. They're going to lose too much money and going to have to shut their doors permanently. Personally, I'm not sure that will happen. There's just too much money to be made by these casinos that maybe they do file bankruptcy, but they'll be able to climb back out of it eventually. I think local casinos will open in some capacity very quickly, as soon as the beginning of May. But places like Las Vegas, they'll open some spots, but they're going to really struggle to reopen because of how densely populated they are and because it's more of a travel destination than just a local casino. Number 4, casino employees are going to be hit the hardest. I read a New York Times article by a former casino employee about how hard this shutdown has been on casino employees. Most casinos aren't paying their employees anything during this time off, while a few casinos are paying them for 2 to 4 weeks of time off, but it's already been 6. Then you add to that the fact that most casinos aren't going to hire back 100% of their employees until they get back to pre-coronavirus revenue levels. That means that these employees are really going to suffer. My guess is casinos are going to open up in a bare bones operation. That means nightclubs, restaurants, those are all going to be closed, and only the minimum number of tables are going to be open in the casinos. I know it's all just business, but it just feels like the same thing out of casinos, some of which are making $200 million a year. The casinos, they're going to end up being just fine, while their employees might be lining up for unemployment. Number 3, card counters with smaller bankrolls will likely suffer the most and need to patiently regrow their bankrolls. I always tell people a card counter needs 2 things, brains and a bankroll. The brains part is you need a perfect game, but secondly, you also need the money to bet to be able to manage your risk and have an edge over the casino. Hopefully, all of you guys are doing just fine, either having another source of income or having enough savings to live off of during this downtime. But the reality is, the card counters that have to live off some of their bankroll will have to rebuild that money. Reports are coming out saying Las Vegas strip casinos will likely open their higher limit tables first, like the $50 tables. The bottom line is that's going to be tough for lower limit card counters. While I don't think this will be the case everywhere, nor do I think this will last forever, if you're a smaller limit card counter, you're going to have to be patient and rebuild your bankroll so you aren't playing with too high of risk. You've done it before likely, you can do it again. Number 2, I don't see the casinos making the games worse because of this shutdown. Living in these weird dystopian times leads to a lot of fatalistic thinking, and I get a lot of questions about, are the casinos just going to make the games unbeatable when they open up again? I asked Andy Ewell, author of the Blackjack Insiders, who actually works for a casino, and he said things might start out very drastically different, but give it some time and things will go back to normal. Max says that if casinos offer poor rules, people will find something else to do with their disposable income other than gamble. And Anthony Curtis, the most recent inductee into the Blackjack Hall of Fame and the publisher of my book, The 21st Century Card Counter, says that the casinos will suffer and the players on all levels will benefit. He's an expert in Las Vegas and gambling, and this is what he thinks. My opinion is casinos will want to get back to business as usual as quickly as possible, and that won't involve making games worse so that people are less inclined to gamble. It'll be offering the same games they can to get people gambling again as quickly as possible. Which brings me to my number one prediction. There will be some good opportunities to smart advantage players when the casinos reopen. Hopefully you know the story of Don Johnson, probably the most famous blackjack player of all time. During the recession, casinos were scrambling to get gamblers back in the doors, so they had all sorts of offers to get people gambling again, and Don Johnson used these offers against them to the tune of $15 million. As casinos scramble to get gamblers back in the doors, they will come up with offers, promotions, and opportunities that the smart advantage players will use to their benefit. I've personally played promotional games that were worth over $600 an hour, loss rebates where I had an edge over the casino off the top, as well as promotional chips that casinos were offering me worth over $1,000 just to play them. As Anthony Curtis puts it, there will be more deals on several levels. Casinos will have other things to worry about and will be more reluctant to lose any customers, which should accrue positively to skilled players. While none of us know definitively what life will be like when the casinos reopen, me and my advantage player friends have profited nicely by being aggressive and prepared rather than fearful and pessimistic. Let me know below in the comments if you agree with me or if you think I'm full of it. To learn more about beating blackjack for real profit, you can subscribe to this channel or check out our free card counting mini course, and maybe I'll see you at the tables when the casinos reopen.